Race 4 for the EFS 4x4 Accessories XL Cup, round 1 of season 2021. Now, we've had 3 races. Well, it's race 4, so we've had 3 races. And Darren Whittington has won 3 races. And Chris Board has finished second in 3 races. So that makes the points situation easy to calculate just right off the top. Connor Roberts is starting out at position 3, not for the first time this weekend. Cameron Bartholomew has steadily made progress after having some problems with sensors, and he's now starting out of position 4. Riley Beggs starting out of position number 5. So we've got those 2 black cars on the second and third rows of the grid. Ryan O'Sullivan was fantastic in race 3, progressing into 6th position after, well, he fell backwards a little bit after making an absolute whole shot start. Ryan Casher has climbed from rear of grid over the course of 2 races and is starting 7th on the grid. Corey Willis will start from position number 8. Then Mitch Wooler starting from 9, another driver who's had to climb from the rear after missing race 2. Dan Natoli will start from position 10. Then we have Mick McLeod and Kobe Holland, Brett Parrish and Ivan Painter, Frank Mamarella and Trey Machota, Harrison Bates and Andrew Hamilton, Josh Dremel and Harrison Stock, and that's the top 20. Chris Pappas will start from 21 with Sam McLaren alongside, Amar Sharma and Josh Trappett, Warren King and Jason Harron, James Van Roon and Shane Mahoney in 28th. Chris Wilkins in 29th was the last finisher of race 3. And then lining up after that, hopefully we've got some of the cars who were wounded in previous races. I can see Jared Hughes' car down there lining up. I can also see Josh Richards is back after missing race 3. So we've got a few cars rejoining. Hopefully James Simpson's bright blue number 76 will be rejoining us as well. There's a few of some of our faster competitors who are missing out on the, have skipped a race here and there throughout the day. But here we go, we're ready for the final race of the XLs for the day. Magnificent start from Bartholomew. He had to make a huge swerve to not run into the back. Oh, this sideways, there's going to be contact. Chris Board's in a heap of trouble. I don't know how he's... Oh, and of course it's Brett Parrish who's off the track again. 3 out of 4 races, the number 54 Semius plumbing car has been into the grass. Oh, Brett, I don't know what it is today. Out the front of the field, Whittington has a gap already. So Whittington there is our race leader. Bartholomew it is who's up into 2nd. Roberts is fighting for 3rd with Mitch Wooler. And then we've got Riley Beggs in 5th place. And then Board is, I don't know, Board was so sideways through turn 1, I don't know how he's still in 6th position. But there he is, with Ryan O'Sullivan tucked in behind, then Dan Natoli, who's been having one of his best weekends in the class. Harrison Bates has made a magnificent start to this race. He's up into the top 10 now. Across the stripe they come. So Whittington leads from Bartholomew, Roberts, Wooler, Beggs, O'Sullivan, Painter, Bates, Casher, Holland, Machota, Dremel and Stock. Onto the back straight. There's Whittington, the bright yellow car who's been just, I don't want to say dominant because race 2, Board chased him all the way to the end and Bartholomew Well, as long as Ken Bartholomew's in that second place, I don't think anyone could relax who's out in front of ahead of young Cam. Roberts tucked right in underneath Bartholomew. Mitch Wooler, who's one of the rising stars in Queensland touring cars, has acquitted. Oh, there goes Roberts for second place. Perfectly executed. And our braking maneuver, except that it's Bartholomew, and he's not going to give away the position. Rides the outside line, and with a little assistance from Mitch Wooler, and Roberts ends up losing a position and is down to fourth. Bartholomew back into second. Roberts immediately strikes back on the inside line to at least get the position back from Wooler. Bartholomew hangs on to second as Roberts and Wooler go side by side down the Dick Johnson straight, fighting over third place. Beggs is next, followed by Board, then O'Sullivan, Painter in eighth place. Ryan Cash has lost out on the start a bit. He's dropped a few positions. Bates hangs on to the top 10. So we look across the track towards the back straight. We see Wooler in that black and teal stripe down the side, moving up to attack Bartholomew in the black car once again. Roberts there in the orange car. He's got two cars climbing up onto his tail. Riley Beggs is the black car on the outside of Roberts. The other car there will be Chris Board, who's downfield from where he's been for the entire weekend. We've seen that Chris Board's been shuffled back through the pack a couple of times throughout the weekend, but each time he's climbed back into second place before the... But he hasn't been shuffled down this far the field. 6th, 7th place. But here's Bartholomew and Wooler. Not touching this time. So Wooler's trying to set up an under and over, I think, through turn 6. Whittington onto the straight. Bartholomew was wise. And Wooler didn't make the attempt in the end. Roberts is fourth ahead of Board, Beggs, O'Sullivan, Natoli, Painter and Casher. That's the top 10. So Whittington has bolted. He's 2.5 seconds to the good. Bartholomew and Wooler continue to go at it. Wooler's on the high line coming out of turn 2. He's got a slingshot of extra speed. And he's trying to get Bartholomew around the outside to turn 3. That's probably not going to work. But, you know, sometimes you get a good exit. There we go. Wooler's switching over to the inside, which will put him on the wrong side of Bartholomew for turn 4. They're slowing each other up. We see that Roberts there in the orange car is closing right in on Bartholomew and Wooler, fighting over second place. And Chris Board and Riley Beggs right behind. And there's only a small gap to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan did really well to climb back up the running order through the first 2 races of the day. Now here's Whittington. The gap's going to be out over 3 seconds now because they're really slowing each other up, hanging on to this scrap for second. So Bartholomew still second, followed by Wooler, Roberts, Board, and Beggs. Then O'Sullivan, and then Natoli, who's having his best run in the category for several years, actually. Casher is next, and Casher's actually quite a ways back. Then Painter, who's having to defend against a rising attack from Machota. Here's this. Wooler's trying an outside line on Bartholomew, but Roberts is going to get both of them. Roberts has got a nice runner on, but didn't get good exit out of the corner, and that's given Chris Board an option. Bartholomew's had a little bit of a break, and here comes Chris Board. He's gotten past Roberts, and now he's trying the high line on Wooler into turn 4. Sits in position. Wooler's not going to take that. And ultimately, the overtake fails. Wooler hangs on to 3rd place, ahead of Board. Roberts has been shuffled back to 6th. There's Whittington. Well, it's the gap Whittington has is going to be over 4 seconds, I suspect now. Although Bartholomew might be clear. Not quite 5 seconds. But Bartholomew might have a gap. Board's gotten past Mitch Wooler. And in doing so, that may have allowed Cam Bartholomew to escape. We'll see what kind of pace that Board has. No, he's still in the tow. He's still got the tow from the back of Cam Bartholomew's car, reels him in quickly, and is going to try an end run on the outside into turn 3. Wooler pops up on the inside of turn 3. It's going to cost him speed on the exit of the corner. So couldn't get Board that way. Left him vulnerable to an attack from Roberts, and here he comes. Roberts moves into 4th place. Gets it done. Wooler loses another spot. Riley Beggs ready and waiting to take another spot from Mitch Wooler if he's not careful. Now there's a gap forming here. We're looking right at it here in the middle of the camera shot between Chris Board. No, that gap's gone. Roberts was made very good progress under brakes and closed the gap to Board. Now looking a little bit further back in the pack, Natoli and Cash are just crossing the line. And whoa, there's a Richards is now up into the top 10. He's gotten through the group of Painter, Willis, Bates and Holland. So there's Josh Richards, this white car with the green trim underneath it. But we go back. Oh, have a look at this. 3 wide on the back straight. Wooler, Beggs and Roberts. Wooler's going to lose 2 spots here. Both Roberts and Beggs deep under brakes. Bartholomew's looking to get second. Oh, there's contact. Board went to the dirt on the inside of the court, rode the curb on the entry to turn 3, and all 5 cars have bunched themselves up. Board kisses the dirt slightly. Now Board, with assistance from Roberts, pushes back into 2nd place. Bartholomew's not going to like Roberts having him on his inside. Oh, there's contact, and Roberts and Bartholomew both, and well, Roberts has been spun off the circuit. Oh dear. So Bartholomew heads towards turn 6. Bartholomew reclaims the circuit, but he's losing spots here. Richards has gone by. Machota has gone by. Painter, I think, has gone by as well. Willis, maybe. Back at the front of the field, though, we briefly saw Whittington escaping through turns 1 and 2. Now, there's a promising scrap at the moment, and that is Machota and Kasha that are very close together. We go back. Oh, another contact down. That time that was between Riley Beggs and Mitch Wooler. Wooler ends up falling off the circuit. It looked like there might have been contact. And we've got, car went quiet on the front straight at the same time. Oh, it's all getting a bit fraught here in the final EOFS XL Cup race for the weekend. Beggs and Bartholomew side by side for the run down the lake straight towards turn 4. And there's O'Sullivan working his way back into the group. Whittington's away up front. Board is now a lonely second position. This is what I was telling you at the start of the race. Board loses ground in some of these races early on. Oh, we've got cars with contact. There's Roberts has come together with another car, I think. Oh, and there's Harrison Bates, the number 8. He's dragging his rear bumper. No, not. Or is that Chris Pappas? Sorry, it's the number 6. That is Harrison Bates. That's who I thought it was. Just couldn't quite read the number properly. So Bates is going to get a call to have that rear bumper addressed, I believe. Possibly, presumably. Back to the front of the field, although we just had a look there at Richards and Kasher, who are running together. On the back straight there, we see the 2. So there's Board in second place. He's got Bartholomew and Beggs and O'Sullivan behind him, with some of the cars that have exited stage right over the last few laps. O'Sullivan's come up through the field, and he's now just behind Riley Beggs. So this is the battle for second place going. Whittington's away and done. The gap is now, well, it's upwards of 8 seconds, heading towards 9. Board, Bartholomew, Beggs and O'Sullivan. That's the battle for second. O'Sullivan there in 5th place. There's Whittington crossing the stripe. There's the 4 cars fighting over second place. Board, Bartholomew, Beggs and O'Sullivan. A small gap before we get to Natoli leading him across the line in 6th place, with Machota and Kasher tucked right in behind. And then we've got Josh Richards and Corey Willis fighting over 9th place, followed by Kobe Holland, James Simpson, Andrew Hamilton, Chris Pappas in the red and blue car. There's Board in 2nd place. Bartholomew 3rd. And starting to settle into 2 pairs, this battle. What was a 4-car battle for second is now becoming 2 battles for second and 4th. Oh, look at that, just behind there in that group, fighting over 6th place. Machota it is, who's gotten past both Natoli and Ryan Kasher. Fantastic work there by Trey Machota. He's climbing up into, that is 7th position now. Sorry, 6th, I should say. Oh, someone's gone off there in turn 5. Who's that? That was... Oh, it's Chris Board who's lost out. Well, Darren Whittington coming around. It's about to start lap 10 of 12. And there he goes. But we've lost Chris Board out of 2nd place. Bartholomew is now up to 2nd. Riley Beggs is 3rd. O'Sullivan is 4th. Then we've got Trey Machota is up into 5th place now, ahead of Dan Natoli, Ryan Kasher. Board has rejoined the running order in 8th place, with Richards, Willis, Simpson, Holland, Hamilton, Pappas and Painter rounding out the top 15. Now there's Simpson, and Simpson was overtaking Willis there for 10th place, so James Simpson is running strongly in the back half of this final race of the weekend. Got several scraps going on at the moment. There's the Whittington flashing across the screen briefly. So Bartholomew, Beggs and O'Sullivan, that's the scrap for 2nd. Well, really, Bartholomew's got a gap on Beggs, so really it's a fight for 3rd between Beggs and O'Sullivan. 5th place, Trey Machota is continuing to move up the running order. Natoli and Kasher are still going at it for 6th place. That's a fascinating scrap that's going to go all the way to the end. There we see, yeah, Kasher's got Natoli through turn 5. Nicely done. So Cash has shown plenty of speed this weekend. So Whittington's already gone through the screen, and there's the battle for second, which is starting to bunch up again now. Oh. Josh Richards and Corey Willis side by side across the strike. Down in turn one, we see Kasha, Natoli. And Chris Board is actually closing in on the tail of that group now as we go back to the fight for second. On this, the final lap of the EFS XL Cup round one. Now, one thing I can tell you, oh, here goes Riley Beggs, big bomb dive on Bartholomew. He's gone deep under brakes. It's last lap. So Beggs has got it done, forces Bartholomew wide on the exit. Still on the black stuff though, still gives him room, and Bartholomew has the inside line for turn 4. O'Sullivan can only watch and hope that they don't hit each other and take him out. As we say that, there's someone's gone off on the exit of turn 2. Looks like it might have been Dremel. We just saw in the background of the shot there. Scrap ongoing here for second place, but here comes Darren Whittington, all on his own, serene and supreme. 4 starts, 4 wins. It's all going on for second. Machoda's caught them right on the run to the jacket flag. Whittington wins. Second place will go to Bartholomew ahead of O'Sullivan. Machoda and Riley Beggs has been shuffled back to 5th in all of that. Board is home for 6th, Kasha 7th, Natoli 8th. Drag race, and Richards has beaten Willis to the line. Simpson is 11th in the end, ahead of Holland. Hamilton 13th. Pappas crossing line now for 14th, ahead of Painter. And yeah, Shane McLaren's actually climbed up into 16th place at the end, ahead of Harrison Stock. Then Warren King. Jason Harron 19th. And Sharma has climbed into 20th at the end, and there's Dremel making his way back. So Dremel ended up being bogged on the exit of turn 2, and there's more contact, and that's Whittington and Board. What's happened there? Well, that's happened after I have no idea what's happened there between Whittington and Board. But, well, it's certainly been a dramatic end to the XL Cup for round 1. Thanks, of course, to everybody at EFS 4x4 Accessories, proud sponsor of the XL Cup for season 2021. And we can say congratulations to Darren Whittington on winning the round. I fear there's little doubt of that. Now, second for the round, well, it would have been Chris Board. And I think he's probably still got enough points to hold on to second for the round, particularly as we lost Connor Roberts over the course of that race. So here's Josh Dremel working his way back to the pits. Well, that's the final XL race for the day here at Queensland Raceway. We have one more live stream to go after this, and that is the final race of the day, a twilight race for Queensland production cars, and we'll be back shortly for that. And, well, congrats once again to Darren Whittington on taking victory in the opening round of the EFS XL Cup. There is the B Pro car. He's taken 4 wins from 4 starts. Just magnificent effort this weekend.